Hello lovely people, hi guys, welcome back to my channel. I hope everybody is fine. I am back again on your screens with another video, and this time I am going to share with you some tips to help you learn an African language. Now I know this channel is most about tree learning, but I feel like a lot of people are learning different languages, especially African language, and so this is going to be a general video just helping you to learn an African language, because yes, an African language can be very intimidating, especially to people who do not understand tonal languages, and it's just completely different from what you are familiar with and from what you are used to. And so it can be quite intimidating. But I hope that with these tips, you are able to, at least find some things here and there to help you learn the language more effectively and maybe fast, or yeah, just choose a language to learn. So yes, a person who has learned other languages, I speak a couple of different languages, I think I've mentioned this in my videos before. I can understand why African languages can seem very intimidating. I didn't know that even Chi, which is my mother tongue, was intimidating until I started to teach Chi. That was where I started to really understand that, oh, this is really not as simple as I thought it was, but mostly because I grew up with this language, and so for me that was everything I knew. Like, I didn't think it was that difficult until I started to teach other people the language, and that was where I was like, okay, this feels quite difficult. Like, it feels quite difficult because it has a structure, but it doesn't necessarily have a structure. It's more about tones and how you say something. You can say something and it would mean, oh, you are a lovely person, and when you change it, as soon as you change it, it's like you are mad. It's just all of those nuances that comes with the language, or that comes with African languages. So yeah, hopefully these tips helps you to find a better way and a better method to learning an African language. And I say an African language because in Africa we have so many different languages. Like, literally, it's 54 countries in a continent, and in every single country there are loads of languages. Like, Ghana alone has more than 70 languages. A lot. Nigeria, oh, a lot. Okay, so yeah, I'll just blanket it and say an African language, because it depends on what you decide to choose from. So let's just start with tip number one. Before you learn an African language, you need to understand why you're doing it. I feel like the why is always very important in every situation, and it also applies in language learning. So is it for family? Is it for business? Is it for culture? Is it because you want to connect with your roots? Is it because you're looking for a challenge? Understanding the why you want to learn a language gives you more motivation to learn the language faster or even effectively. So number one, I would definitely say understand the reason behind you wanting to learn the language. So say, for example, you want to learn an African language because you want something that is widely spoken in East Africa. Your best bet would be Swahili, because it's spoken in, it's spread across East Africa. If you are into Afrobeat culture and music and stuff like that, and you want something in West Africa, then your best bet would probably be Yoruba as well, because that a lot of music has all these Yoruba influence. If you want to connect with your roots, for example, or you're very much interested in the Ashanti Kingdom and you want to learn the language of the Ashanti people, then your best bet will be Chi. So understanding why you're learning the language gives you more incentives for you to learn the language more effectively. So that is my tip number one. Know your why. My second tip would be to choose one language. Do not make the mistake of wanting to learn 2 languages at a time or 3 languages at a time. I have done that before, and that took me nowhere. And that was not even languages that were tonal languages, it was just Latin based languages. And I can tell you, I would think in one language but words are coming in another language. Do not do that if you're wanting to learn an African language. If you want to learn an African language, choose one language at a time, learn that language, and then see how that goes. And if you want to switch it up maybe another time, go ahead and switch it. This is because you don't want to cause confusion in your head, especially if you are not African, because it is like totally different, grammar, totally different things going on, the structure, everything is different, and you don't want to confuse yourself. I feel like when you do two languages at once, the chance of you not learning faster is very, very high because you're not able to concentrate on one thing at a time. So if you want my advice, I would say learn one language at a time, because yes, the language itself is quite challenging by itself, so putting two tonal languages together is not the best thing. So go with one language at a time, in my opinion. My third tip would be to learn the tone of the language first and then progress from there. Because the Tree language, or now I'm saying Tree because that is my language, but because most of these African languages are very tonal languages, you have to also be able to understand the nuances. You have to be able to understand the tones. What does the tone mean? I feel like the tones is very, very important. Don't just think it is a language where you can just read and just understand, or just read and just read what you see. Most of the times what you see or what is written is not how it is pronounced, and so you have to also be comfortable with the fact that there would be tones and the tones will change the meanings. So yeah, try to get this in your head. Don't let it intimidate you, because that is majority of African languages. It is all tonal. So try to get used to that. Learn the basics, learn things like the alphabet, learn the combination of words, of sounds, how that sounds. I mean, don't stress yourself if you're not able to get it at the beginning, but I think that with time you will understand. Like when somebody tells you, oh, you said this instead of that, but then you meant to say something else, you will get it. You will get the importance of why tone is important. So yeah. My point number 4 would be to master 50 to 100 most commonly used words in the specific language that you want to learn. Now, this is how I personally learned a language like Portuguese. So if you guys go back to my old videos, you would see some Portuguese languages on there. And basically what I'm telling you is how I learned Portuguese on my own. So yeah, I basically started off the same. I started off with 100 words in the language. Once you memorize these 100 words, or once you know these 50 to 100 words, you can just construct so many different sentences around these words, because they are the words that they come up a lot. So learn words that that are used in everyday life. Learn words like oh, go, come, eat, do. Learn words that that connect other words. So things like or, and, just the basic stuff. So look at words like greetings, like introducing yourself, words around family, words around people, words around body parts, words about emergencies. All these words that you would need in everyday life or in everyday just normal circumstances. Try to master those words, and I feel like once you've done those, even if the grammar is wrong, you'll be able to figure things out. You'll be able to express certain things in a certain way, or even if it's just one liner, you'll be able to communicate something to somebody because you have that one word. Okay, so that is very, very important. My tip number 5 would be to learn through daily activities. I feel like this is one of the things that is very, very important to do if you are learning any language. Learn through daily activities. So say for example you are washing your hands, you want to think and say, oh, how would I say wash my hands in the language that I am learning? And once you have it, you're just communicating with yourself. I find this very, very good, because sometimes you don't need to communicate with somebody. Sometimes you have a lot of communications with yourself. I don't know about you, but I have a lot of talk with myself. My brain is always talking to me, and I'm always having conversations in my head. So I feel like if you can have these conversations in your head, or something pops up in your head and it's like, oh, I'm thirsty, I need to drink water, quickly learn how to say, I'm thirsty, I want to drink water. Or even the simple things like water. How do you say water in this language? How do you say water in Chi? How do you say water in Swahili? How do you say water in Yoruba? Or how do you say I'm thirsty in Yoruba? And already you have that and you can put it down. So learn through daily activity. I think that is one of the ways that I learned really, really fast, like super fast. And I feel like that is an important tip I am giving you. Learn through everyday life. You're brushing your teeth. Oh, how do I brush my teeth? How do I say I'm brushing my teeth in Chi? Or how do I say I'm feeling sad in Chi? How do I say I need help in Chi? All the conversations, like I said, you have in your head, try to translate them in the language that you're learning. Don't worry about the grammar being correct or not. The most important thing is that you have those basic things, and that will go a very long way. My tip number 6 would be to use the African realities around you, and that includes music, that includes movies, that includes social media, the African language, or even markets, like going to places where daily life is conducted. That will help you to learn the language, and that will help you to at least try to practice the language. I feel like African languages are very, very much alive. Every single place you go, people are speaking the language, because yes, there are the official languages that are spoken in these countries, but people use the African languages a lot, or the local dialects, or the local language. I don't like to call them dialects, because they are not really dialects. They are more like languages, but then in every language you have dialects and stuff like that. Okay, let's not complicate things. But what I'm trying to say is that the African languages are very much alive. Like, if you go on TikTok, there's so many things you can find on there. There's so many people speaking the language, skits, like comedy stuff, music, movies. Your ear picks up tones, your ear picks up rhythms, your ear picks up a lot of the things around you very, very fast and very, very easily. So try to immerse yourself in that. Okay, you're going somewhere, just put on like a radio station that speaks a language that you're learning. You might not even understand anything, but at least you're hearing something here and there. You're hearing the tones, you're hearing the pronunciations, you're hearing the connections. You're just hearing how they flow with the words, or how they flow just by speaking, basically. And this is what I did with, if you go back and see a lot of my videos when it comes to Portuguese, because I did document it on this channel as well. That was exactly what I was saying. I was listening to music basically all the time. I was reacting to the music, and I was commenting under my videos with this language. So I was fully immersed, and that was great. That was really, really helpful. I was just forced to listen, to understand what people were saying, and it was really great, because I could understand the tones, and I could understand not even constructions, because I didn't have enough vocabulary to understand constructions, but then how the movement and the rhythm in the language. So yeah, I would say immerse yourself in the language. You have TikTok, like literally 10-second videos, 20-second videos of people talking in this language. So it's very easy for you to scroll and hear things, or even podcasts, or like I said, media, radio, movies. There are a lot of things around available. They might not be scripted, they might not be in a book form, but you can find a lot of things to listen to if you want to. So my seventh tip would be to focus on phrases and not necessarily grammar. I feel like, yeah, you can throw grammar out of the way. It is important, it is very necessary, but I feel like knowing how to say certain things is more important, especially if you're learning the language. So if you're hungry, there's no point in understanding the whole grammar with how to say I am hungry in Chi. Like, you just need the phrase I am hungry. Learn those phrases, learn those basic general phrases, and then the grammar would come. I usually always say it's not important for any language that you speak to be 100% grammatically correct. Like, it's not that necessary. At the end of the day, people need to understand you, and people need to understand what you're saying, and you need to communicate with people. So the most important part is not necessarily your grammar being 100% correct, but it is you expressing yourself in a way that people understand, and that is what your focus should be on. Your focus should be on getting yourself understood, and not being perfect in the language, because once you want everything to be perfect and everything to be correct, then you might end up not really learning the language. Learn the basic phrases, okay? Phrases, and then as time goes on, go into the grammatical aspect of it. The most important things is that you have in your bag the present tense, past tense, future tense. These three things, you have these three, you're good. Or even present continuous, for example, I am going so so and so. You have those four in your bag, you can construct any sentence you want. You can do anything you want. So yeah, focus on phrases, not necessarily on grammar. That would come later. I'm not saying that it's not important, but that would definitely come later. My tip number 8 would be to talk to real people. Now, after you have spoken to yourself, and after you have listened to people on the internet, you have listened to all the TikToks, you have listened to all the radios, you have watched all the movies, you need to also speak to real people. And it can be anybody. It can be a friend who speaks that language. It can be you having a tutorial or tutoring session with a teacher who helps you to speak the language. It can be you going to, having your own session where you're just randomly talking to people. Like I said, you don't necessarily need so many materials. You just need to practice and practice and practice and repeat just to be familiar with the things you're saying. You can say one thing today, it will sound a bit off, but once you say it 2, 3, 4 times, it starts to set in, it starts to settle, because you've said it so many times. Say, for example, you just meet people somewhere and you go like, oh, saying. The first time you say saying, it will feel really weird because you're not used to it. But then as time goes on, if you're meeting 5 people and all of them you're saying saying to, it comes very natural for you to it comes very natural. And that is the same with other things. You might not know the words, but once you speak to people, somebody might tell you, oh, this is how you say this, or this is how you say that, this is how you say that. And you start to build your vocabulary from there. So it doesn't have to feel like, oh, it's all these book, it's all, grammar, it's all text, it's all of that. You have to also make it a little bit interesting for yourself to keep you going. Have fun with it. I always say have fun with every language, and don't be shy to speak to real people. They would love it. Once people know that you are learning their language, they love it. It doesn't matter what culture you're from, it doesn't matter where. Just them knowing that you're trying to learn the language, oh my god, that is a flex for them. Like, they would be on it, they would want to help you, they would want to communicate with you. It's just a beautiful feeling, so take advantage of it. People will help you if they know that you are learning the language. So go out there, speak to real people. If it's your mom, if you're trying to connect with, your background, for example, your parents are Ghanaians or your parents are Nigerians, but you didn't grow up speaking the language, speak to your parents. When you were younger, you didn't want to speak the language, but now you're older and you want to learn the language. Your parents are there. Speak to them. They will be so happy and they would try to help you out. So, yeah. Go out and speak to real people. And I think my last thing, I think I've already even mentioned it, is do not fear mistakes. I feel like people are so people just want to be so perfect with everything, but you're human. You cannot be perfect with everything, especially with things that you're not used to, especially with something that is new, especially with a language that is new. Gosh, people have spoken a language for their entire lives, and you expect to be super fluent in just a year. It doesn't happen. It takes time for you to get there. So do not fear the mistakes. The mistakes are going to happen. You're not going to be 100% perfect in the language. But you know what? Nobody cares. Like I said, it's not about the grammar, it's about the communication, it's about making yourself and expressing yourself so that people understand you. So it doesn't matter. Mistakes are there and you learn from your mistakes, but do not dwell so much on the mistakes that you might make whilst trying to learn the language. If anything, it is a learning curve and it is supposed to happen. You're supposed to know that this is what you said, but it's not meant to be said that way. It's meant to be said the other way. But like I said, it's meant to be said the other way. But do not really dwell on it too much because it is not that important. Just be courageous. Just be brave. Just be, I don't know if the word is nonchalant. But because it's coming to me the word is coming to me in Italian, it's not coming to me in English or any other language. But basically what I'm trying to say is just don't care. Yes, don't care about the mistakes. It doesn't serve it doesn't serve anybody. It doesn't serve you. It doesn't serve other people. Just go. Just learn. Okay, just learn the language and you will be happy you did not even care about the mistakes. You will be so glad you did that. I wish I had made it 10 tips, but I don't really have anything to add except for just do it. That would be the 10th one. Just do it. If you want to learn an African language, just go for it. Go for it. I myself, I want to learn Swahili or Hausa. I want to learn one of those. So I would definitely pick it up. I will start to do that. I feel like learning a language is one of the things that gives you so much pride and joy because you know that it wasn't easy. Like, you know that it was a process. You know that you can finally speak to a group of people, and it's just one of those things that is just a testament of your hard work and a testament of your dedication. So it is really, really telling when you are able to learn a language and speak it and communicate. It's just great. So if you ever think of learning an African language, Twi, Yoruba, Swahili, Zulu, whatever it is, just go for it. Go for it. Don't be shy. Don't think, oh, you're too old to learn. It's never too late. It's never too late to learn a language. People connect every single day. Like, life moves on. You don't know which people you might meet in the future. An African country might be your home in the next 5 to 10 years. Who knows? So if you want to learn the language, don't be intimidated. It looks like an intimidating language. It does look like it, but it's not intimidating at all. And whatever you put your mind to, you will be able to achieve, including an African language. So yeah, just go for it. And I guess that is all I have for you. And I hope these tips are helpful. If you've ever learned a language, let me know how you did it. I've just showed you how I learned mine. And if you want to follow my journey of how I learned Portuguese, for example, I have it documented in some of my videos here, so you can go ahead and watch that and maybe take something out of it. But that is it. I hope you enjoyed this video. Don't forget to like, comment, share and subscribe, and yeah, I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.